Got Lou here. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting for the City of Henderson, Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. If you would please stand, we will recognize the flag and with the I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, I think one of you young ladies are going to sing the national anthem, which moves roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas is absent. Commissioner Bowles?
Here.
Commissioner Pruitt is absent. Commissioner Staton?
Here.
Mayor Austin?
Here. First of all, we have a proclamation recognizing Economic Development Week, and what a better time to recognize our economic development folks than right now when things are going very well. So, Missy, if y'all would come up front, anybody that's associated.
Economic Development Week. Whereas the International Economic Development Council is the largest professional economic development organization dedicated to serving economic developers, and whereas the International Economic Development Council provides leadership and excellence in economic development for communities, members, and partners through conferences, training courses, advisory services, and research, in-depth publications, public policy advocacy, and initiatives such as the Accredited Economic Development Organization Program, the Certified Economic Developer Designation, and the Entrepreneurship Development Professional. And whereas economic developers promote economic well-being and quality of life for their communities by creating, retaining, and expanding jobs that facilitate growth, enhance wealth, and provide a stable tax base. And whereas the economic developers stimulate and incubate entrepreneurialism in order to help establish the next generation of new businesses, which is the hallmark of the American economy. And whereas economic developers are engaged in a wide variety of settings, including rural and urban, local, state, provincial, and federal governments, public-private partnerships, Chamber of Commerce, universities, and a variety of other institutions. And whereas economic developers attract and retain high-quality jobs, develop vibrant communities, and improve the quality of life in their regions. And whereas Henderson Economic Development professional staff members are committed to helping our community businesses succeed and grow. Now, therefore, Steve Austin, by virtue of the authority vested in him as mayor of the city of Henderson, does hereby proclaim the week of May 9th through the 13th, 2022, as Economic Development Week in Henderson, Kentucky, and reminds individuals of the importance of our Henderson Economic Development team, which supports expanding career opportunities and making lives better.
Thank you. You introduce all of your people.
Yeah.
All the folks with you.
So you all are very familiar with Whitney Risley. She's our Director of Existing Industry, but joining us today, we have Madison Crampy. Madison is an employee of the Chamber, and we're collaborating with the Chamber and sharing her time. She spends half of her time with the Chamber and half of it with us. And then for her second summer, joining us, we have Kate McIndoe as our intern this summer.
Great, okay. And then you have another person in your office.
Stephanie is not with us. She's manning the fort. So Stephanie Lucas she keeps us all straight. Yeah. So she's manning the fort back at the office.
And then I met out at the event out at the pizza place, the
Lumberyard?
Lumberyard.
Oh, yeah.
Your son
Yes.
that has helped a lot in the graphics and,
Yes.
and all of those type things.
Yes.
In fact, I asked him if he was a student, and he informed me right quick, said, no, I'm a teacher. Young looking young
And today
man.
is actually his birthday. His 26th birthday is today.
Well,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
okay. Well, listen, we all appreciate the good times and the bad times and the great times with economic development. And they're all mixed in there, and it happens, and things work out and things don't work out, but on an even keel, you folks have done great and tremendous for our community, and it's being noticed not only here, but all around the state.
Thank you.
So thank you all very much, we appreciate it.
And thank you all for your support always. Thank you.
Leanne, would you join me up at the podium, please? And anyone you want to bring with you, it's fine, or... Oh, y'all, come up. Yeah. All right, Leanne. Come on.
Come on, let's go.
Leanne Herron.
Right here. We'll let those all your...
Leanne Herron started working for the city as an account clerk 1 on May 7th, 1997, and was reclassified to administrative clerk in April 2001. On May 22nd, 2017, Leanne was promoted to administrative secretary, and then in January of 22, she was reclassified to purchasing coordinator in the finance department. Co-workers who know her best call her sister because she's the sister of Brian Williams, our public works director. Leanne is an excellent recruiter for the city. Currently, there are 4 employees on staff she has encouraged to apply, who were subsequently hired, one being Brian, her brother. We're happy to have Leanne with us today to thank her for her hard work and dedication to the city with the presentation of this 25-year service award pin.
Seems like yesterday, then. Within the office, and we appreciate them, and we appreciate it. Okay, you want to say anything?
No.
Okay. Next, we have Reverend Charles Johnson with us this evening, and he's going to give the Human Rights Commission annual report. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, and also want to just give a shout out to Ms. Missy for a wonderful job that they do, and it's not a month that goes by that I'm not on a Zoom call with the state, and they say, man, we hear about all the great things going on down there. So I just smile and looking for it. So great job to Missy and her team. They do a tremendous job. I've submitted the report from the Human Rights, and guys had a chance to review that. I won't go through every single thing. Pretty much this past year, we know with the COVID and with numbers, probably more eviction concerns is what's been coming to the office to work through those. So we appreciate all the work and the effort that the various nonprofit and non-entities have done to assist people around our tri-state, those that were struggling with maybe being behind on their rent and various things. Being in COVID didn't mean that they didn't have to pay. It just kind of helped them to try to get ahead. So we do appreciate all the work and effort from the Christian Outreach to United Way to the city, the county, Ms. Tammy Willett over at the HUD, the area, and helping out with the state applications. And so we was able to work through a lot of various things. We did add a new commissioner these past few months, Ms. Sylvia Calderon, to our Human Rights Board, and we're very excited and proud to have her a part because she represents the Hispanic Latino community herself, and also she is a state certified translator as well too. So we're very excited about having her join our commission board. So A lot of good things. We're happy about the direction that the Henderson Human Rights Commission is going, but also we don't sweep under the rug the concerns and challenges that we still experience here in our tri-state area, from discrimination, maybe the employment, maybe housing, as well as other things. So the office tries to handle those matters in a timely matter. And those situations that are beyond my control, or I feel like that I don't have a handle on, I'm able to send those to the state and let the state kind of sort those things out, and had to do that from time to time. Appreciate the relationship. From time to time, if I need to pick up the phone and call Ms. Don or Steve Gold, make sure that I don't put myself in a position, because I'm not an attorney, so I want to make sure that I'm giving the right factual advice to a person when I'm handling a matter out of the office. So appreciate the support that the city as well as the county provides the office, and we have a great team with our commissioners and their excitement and what they bring to the team and the various things that we've done here in our city and continue to improve. We're already start working on our next town talk. We had data driven here a few months ago, great turnout, great information, working with the chief of police as well as our mayor. We had a great Martin Luther King program back in January. Our speaker, she did an awesome and dynamic job. We've already secured our speaker for Martin Luther King Day 2023. We're very proud and glad to have Dr. Kevin Cosby, the senior pastor of St. Stephen's Church, which is one of the largest African-American churches in the Midwest, in excess of 15,000 members in Louisville. And also he is the president of Simmons College there in Louisville, which is one of our historical black institutions here in the state of Kentucky. We have Simmons College, and we have Kentucky State University in Frankfort. So he has agreed to be our speaker for 2023, so we are excited and having him. Also, he had the pleasure pastoring Muhammad Ali, and he's good friends with Muhammad Ali's widow. So I was telling him about the great things with the craft industry and stuff. So we're excited about the direction that we're going with the human rights, because we don't always want to be in office where we just file negative complaints. We want to be doing some positive things in the community to educate our citizens as well. With that, I entertain any questions that the
Any
commission
questions
has.
for Charles? We appreciate your work, appreciate your board and what they do, and thank you, and keep us posted if anything comes up that we need to know.
Okay, all right.
Thank you,
ma'am.
sir.
Thanks, Charles.
All righty, next we're going to have Buzzie's going to give us a short update on the new fire station.
Thank you. Chief Foreman is in the back. Dylan Ward's not available today, but we had a recent meeting with Brandstetter Carroll, who is our architect for the project. We have been whittling down the square footage of the building, and I think Scott would agree we're sort of at a medium of where we are on the size of the building, due in reference to the funding that we have available. We were warned by Brandstetter Carroll that right now in the construction times that we're in, there's no guarantees as to what the cost will be. So in that discussion, Brandstetter Carroll offered a third-party service of a cost estimator. And we believe that will be of a lot of value to bring a person on board to tell us at different phases of design what this project is going to cost. And it could be if, for example, we get 30% into the design and the cost estimator comes back and tells us, here's the number, we may have to stop. That's what's key to all this. And so the cost estimating part of it is going to be probably less than $6,000 or $7,000 total. So it's our recommendation that we hire this consultant to provide that service. And we'll keep you updated. We're still looking at a 7 to 8 month process to go from design, preliminary design to final design. Where we stand.
Do we need to take any formal action on adding the cost estimator, or is it just a?
Just if y'all could give me a unanimous okay.
I'm certainly in favor of it. I think it's $6,000 to $7,000 to maybe save hundreds of thousands of dollars on this project, so I'm definitely in favor of that.
Make sure we don't go over budget. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All right, Lindsay, will come up and give us some information on downtown and general, whatever you want to talk to us about.
Sure.
Okay.
Lindsay Lacosto. I am president of the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all for letting me be here, and congratulations to Missy and her group of ladies, and also Charles for all you do for the community as well. I'm just thinking of Jim. But I know you're busy. So I know Buzzy's going to talk a little bit about the Imperial Building parking lot, but just kind of parking seems to be an issue that comes to our office quite a bit, especially downtown parking. I have not heard of recent any complaints from our downtown merchants, which is a great thing. I know in the past we have received quite a few calls, and we had done a lot of different, talked about a lot of different ideas to solve this problem. But really, I think right now things have been great. You know, our downtown continues to pick up with visitors and residents of Henderson coming to the downtown retail merchants that we have and the downtown restaurants and the businesses. So right now, as far as those complaints from merchants or even people parking, we haven't had anybody come to us. But I think the need for continued public parking is important, that we have those options for free parking, such as on Washington Street and the other lots that are available. I know a great resource that's out there after 5 p.m., Field and Main Bank's employee parking lot is available to anybody, just free parking. There is a sign there, but that sign sometimes seems to maybe get overlooked, or people are just so used to seeing it. But that is a free parking lot for the evenings, which is great. And I know that there's a committee working on some ways to maybe make that more visible and more known, so that people can utilize that. So that, you know, I know that there have been discussions about parking garages, and I know those of us that have researched that know the cost in that. And we have opportunities to have free public parking here in Henderson already. So I think it is important that we keep the public parking options that we have, and I know that there is opportunity with the recent purchase of the Imperial lot for that parking lot to remain free for the public, which, as far as the chamber goes, that's important for us, so that our businesses have that free parking for their customers and also their employees. And I know that there are some opportunities for that. I don't know if Buzzy or if anybody else had any questions about that opportunity with the Imperial lot.
I think we're a little early on that possibility, but whether you want to say anything about it?
I do. We, the group of us that when we normally meet to talk about business, economic growth in our downtown, we've all have observed that while temporarily we're not having parking enforcement due to a vacant position, we have received a couple complaints recently, and I'll discuss it with you outside this meeting. However, the problem with parking now is it's not during the day. And what we are seeing in the downtown area, utilization of public street parking, basically from Water Street up to Elm Street, typically along Elm Street, but we see it from Main Street first, really goes back to Washington too, but all the way at least to 3rd and Main. So our downtown is vibrant right now, and we have more employees, we have more businesses that are opening, and now with the addition of the renovation and upgrade of the Imperial Building, it will bring on more residential living in our downtown area. So in the past, there's been a group of us, part of the vision plan, have talked about renting the parking lot at the corner of 3rd and Main. We talked briefly with the previous owner. However, as part of the Imperial Building acquisition, they purchased that parking lot. So the owners, the partners of the new Imperial Building project came to me to discuss the possibility of the city leasing the parking lot at 3rd and Water Street, which is what faces the river. The parking lot currently houses about 75 spaces, give or take, in that parking lot. And part of that lease agreement that we discussed was the cost of the lease will be $1 a year for a minimum of 10 years with 10 years additional renewable lease. In exchange, the only thing they're asking for is a leasehold improvement of the parking lot during the course of the term of the lease. So that's what we're here today to sort of talk about. I don't have any further details other than we're looking for, do we want to pursue this lease proposal going further, or do we want to stop and just do nothing?
And I can speak just on behalf of the chamber that it is important that we have those parking spaces available, and for the reason, not just the residential that's coming there, but there will also be commercial on that first floor, so there will be even more businesses coming in that will need public parking. And then outside of that, with the event space on the corner of 2nd and Main, that's going to be for 250 people, a 250-person event space, which will need parking. And those events will take place during the day at times. So when, obviously you think at first, well, Field and Main parking lot will be open at night. But there will be events happening during the day, bringing those in on the weekends as well. So having that public parking on Water Street will be a wonderful asset to our downtown and for our downtown businesses, where in the evening it is busy. If you drive, what a great problem to have is have our streets full of cars with customers for all of our restaurants. But that parking lot will remain very important to have for the public.
And I think we have 2 more businesses that will probably be opening in the next 6 months that will have will drive it for evening business downtown. Right. And so I think it's part of the city's responsibility to provide public parking. And I think it makes sense both to support the businesses, to support our citizens that come down, and to support our visitors that come over. So I think that our opportunity with the Imperial parking lot is a very good opportunity and something that's affordable. And, I think the $1 a year opportunity that the new owners of that building have given us is really couldn't hardly be better than that, So I appreciate y'all working on that. I know there's a lot more to do and a lot more calculations to do on fixing that parking lot up a little bit, decorating it up a little bit, but I think it's going to be important in the future. 5 years from now, I think we're really going to have a need for it. And so I appreciate Chamber working on that. I appreciate the people at the Imperial Building, the new owners, offering possibilities on that. They don't have to do that. They could they could use that, they could just block it off and use it for anything they want to use it for.
If they wanted to, it could be paid for,
So I think it's a very good opportunity that we need to keep looking at and keep moving and see what our possibilities are.
If acceptable, what I would like to do, Lindsay, and approval with the commission, is to move forward with developing a draft lease agreement and bringing back to the commission for their review and approval, possibly on the 24th of May's meeting.
You know, I think when you look at all of the options that we have, this is one of the most economical ways that we can significantly expand parking. And I'm happy that you brought it to us. I think it's really gonna help, especially, like you said, I just don't wanna beat a dead horse, but at nighttime, you know, we're in a great spot that we do have an issue on many, many nights, and this will help add to that, or add to the parking. So I'm perfectly okay with that.
Austin, you okay? Anything else, Lindsay?
Well, I will have to just throw in a couple plugs for a couple other events coming up, in the city. So, you know, we have our Market on Main, May 21st, which is on Main Street, our vendor fair that has always gone over really well.
Great.
Porch Fest is coming up on June 3rd, as well as the 4th of July fireworks. So these will all be here really soon. And we have a wonderful new, person on our staff that's with us today, Clay Yellum. So Clay has been really working.
Welcome.
She jumped right in and has been a great asset to our team and has definitely fitted with the group. So we're really glad to have her, and this is her first city commission.
Did she come up?
Yeah. Of course, I'll speak for her.
You want to give a little bow on
Go
her?
ahead, Clay. Clay, go ahead. I'll go ahead, Clay.
Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Henderson originally, was gone for about 10 years and came back at the end of 2019 with my husband. He will hopefully have a chiropractic office here soon, and, worked for myself as an entrepreneur for a few years, and really wanted the opportunity to get back into sort of a team environment, somewhere that I could serve the city that I grew up in, so this has been a really great opportunity to kind of get a front row seat on the backside and see how things work and how all these events come together for the city.
Welcome. I'm glad you're on board.
I'm glad you came back to Henderson. It's good to see your generation moving back and being invested in the community too, so thank you.
Yeah.
And Clay had an excellent junior high Sunday school teacher and
Everything she ever wanted to know, you got it.
there you go.
Okay. Thank y'all again.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Yeah, Abby, I guess we'll be waiting on
Yes,
Abby
that'll
for a
be-
little bit
that'll be
later, so.
us.
Okay, we are going to take a break of about 10 to 15 minutes to go into executive session to discuss a opportunity, and then we will be back. We're not going to have a decision, or, you know, we're not going to vote on anything when we come back, but
Anything related to the executive session.
Yeah.
I move that the commission go into executive session for the purpose of deliberation on the possible purchase of property located in the vicinity of US Highway 41 North, US Highway 60 East, and Barrett Boulevard.
Is there a second, please? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Val?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
And we're just going to go into my office. We'll be back just to
about that?
Is there a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
And so we will move on to the consent agenda, and we have a couple of sets of minutes on there.
The minutes of the June 2nd, 2021 called Joint City Utility Commission meeting and the June 8th, 2021 regular meeting.
Is there a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowles?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Next, we have second reading of an ordinance closing the public right-of-way along 8th Street. And we talked about this last week to provide for a new business coming in up there.
Ordinance number 10-22, ordinance closing public right-of-way along 8th Street. An ordinance closing public right-of-way, which is approximately 9 3/4 feet wide by 131 feet long alleyway located in the city of Henderson and running between 405 and 415 8th Street, and approximately 12 feet wide by 65 feet long alleyway running west to east along the north property line of 415 8th Street as part of the consolidation of properties.
Is there a motion to approve second reading,
So
please?
moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowles?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Next is a second reading ordinance amending the job classification of the police department for the new person, the person that will be extended her job to do the statistical duties.
Ordinance number 11-22, ordinance amending job classifications and pay plan and budgeted positions. Excuse me. Ordinance amending job classifications and pay plan by reclassifying the records technician position in the police department to crime analyst records technician and amending budgeted positions and job classifications of the 2021 through 2022 budget.
Is there a motion to approve second reading, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowles?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
This next first reading, it went to the planning commission and was approved and updated and they recommended the change. So first reading on an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance.
Ordinance number 12-22, ordinance amending Article 27, Schedule of Regulations, Schedule A of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Henderson. Ordinance amending Article 27, Schedule of Regulations, Schedule A of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Henderson relating to side yard setbacks in R4 zones.
Is there a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowles?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Next, we have a municipal order amending the pay scale for Atkinson Park Pool concession workers and cashiers.
Municipal Order Number 37-22, municipal order approving hourly pay rate increase for Atkinson Pool concession workers and cashiers.
Is there a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Connie, do you think we are adequately paying these we're paying enough to get good people for this?
Well, we have had no applications for either the concession or the cashiers. And we've been paying minimum wage, which is $7.25 for one of them and $7.50 for the others. So we're hoping that a pay increase that's recommended by Trace would hopefully attract. Because at this point, if we're able to open, then it'll be lifeguards or the head and senior lifeguards running that simultaneously while they're operating the pool.
Well, Tracy, you want to come up now? Please. What do you think about, do you think we're funding this going to pay these people enough that we are going to be able to?
We're going to $8 an hour for each of them, and I think that will help. I know that at $7.25 and $7.50, we weren't getting it. I know we were competing with, the starting rates of $8 and $9 for some of the fast food restaurants.
Yeah.
I know that we've got some, benefits for our staff as far as their schedule and the clientele that they deal with, that we hope that $8 an hour will be enough to aid us into recruiting the, 4 staff we need to open.
So when will you know if the $8 an hour is gonna attract enough people that we can open up and carry on business? A couple of weeks, or?
I'm not real sure. I know that once we get the approval, we'll, re-advertise those positions and see if that brings some new applicants in, but I'm not real sure, when we'll see if this works, or if maybe we, kinda need to revisit the pay scale for the
Okay.
position.
Well,
We're hopeful, if I can interrupt,
Yeah.
that, some of the lifeguard candidates that, of course, we haven't opened yet, but are already committed to the position, are trying to convince folks that are not lifeguards to maybe apply for that, you know,
Okay.
through networking and friends and things like that.
How much are we paying our lifeguards this year?
Start at 10. We start at 10.
Would you be opposed if we made a recommendation to jump this immediately to 9 instead of 8? To me, that doesn't seem like enough.
I'm fine with that.
I feel the same way. I don't think
I
the
do
eight's
too.
enough. And,
Yeah, no, I have no opposition to that. I think that,
and over the course of the summer, it's not a tremendous amount of money, but we need people to be there.
Just paying the minimum lifeguard wage?
Well, I think the lifeguards, they're considered
Yeah.
a step above, I think, you know, so they may have to do that, but they don't have to have the license, the training and the licensing that the lifeguards have to have, so maybe they'll. So what do we need to do in order to, how do we amend it procedurally?
Just make a motion to amend the municipal order from $8 to $9.
Okay. Is there,
We've got a motion sitting on the floor already. Do we need to do something with that?
No, make a motion to amend it
I'd like to
and
make-
vote on that one.
I'd like to make a motion that we amend this to a starting rate of $9 per hour instead of 8.
is there a second? Second. Okay,
You vote on that, and then you vote on the original.
okay, so we're gonna, roll call on the amendment.
Commissioner Vowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Now, we have a motion and a second, so we just need to vote on the order, the
Yes.
municipal order, okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Staton?
Aye.
Mayor Austin?
Next, we have the city manager's report, and the city manager had to step away, so I'm gonna try to work through that. The rezoning at 56 North McKinley Street that's listed on the agenda is that 21-day appeal process. And so there's no action that we need to take on this, but there is just to announce that there's a 21-day appeal process for that, if anyone wants to appeal.
And that was the rezone for Warm. The Warm Center is looking at an expansion, and so they need to get a rezone from light industrial to general business to make that.
And the planning commission approved that. Cyber grant award, Greg?
A couple months ago, I received an email from KLC, may have been it was around that time, stating that
Kentucky
we were
League of Cities.
eligible for a cyber security grant from them, based upon our insurance through them. And so I filled it out and sent it in, and wasn't really expecting anything. And then one day I got called downstairs, and there was Bill Latta and Jan White from Field and Main and a KLC representative that I thought I was in trouble. And I wasn't. They handed me a check for $10,000 for this cybersecurity grant. And since then, we've been trying to figure out ways where to put the money first.
Yeah,
We have many needs, but of course, so we're looking at a penetration test where we have someone test our outside security defenses, looking at a potential new firewall for 911 to protect their network, which is very important. They have an aging firewall on there. And,
Critical.
yes, yes. And then also multi-factor authentication, where we have smart cards, we plug them in and we log in with a PIN. And those are the high points that we're looking at for that.
Well, congratulations. Thanks for taking the initiative to apply for that grant.
My first grant.
And we probably need to, we probably need to, and I think we do, apply for every one of them that comes across. And we are pretty fortunate in getting those, so thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Thank you.
The water feature down on Water Street is moving along, and Mark is here to give us an update and a possibility of an opening date, I think.
Possibly. First off, thank you for thinking of my lifeguards and concession people and cashiers. I appreciate it. That's hard. Water feature is coming along. We've got some concrete down now. Most of the wiring has been pulled, and electrician is starting to terminate all of the wires everywhere it needs to be. Plan on pouring 2 more tomorrow, and we think that the small side shouldn't take hardly any time at all. We did get some really good news over the week. We were thinking that we were not going to get our drivers in that would actually run the pumps until the 25th of May, but thanks to some smooth talking and some good times, we were able to get the company to give us some different ones that'll work just the same, and they should, fingers crossed, get here this Friday. So that means that stuff could all be installed. And we are still shooting for Memorial Day weekend.
Good.
That's the ultimate goal, is Memorial Day weekend. If we can, as long as the weather holds out and the supply chain doesn't break again, we should make it. Should.
Appreciate your work and appreciate the work of the other folks down there. I know Walter Moit has been helping us a lot on the electrical side, and Walter can do wonders, and so we're very thankful to him as well. But everybody that's working on it, we appreciate the work. And
they are just wonderful. Everybody that's been down there working on it has been absolutely wonderful. They've all worked hard and got it all. It's coming together. I think you're going to be proud of it when it's done.
Great.
So
Thank you.
I'm hoping.
Any questions for Mark? Thank you, Mark. We appreciate it. Okay, Entertainment District, Dawn and Abby.
Mayor and Commission, as you know, at our last meeting, we gave you updated numbers for 10 events, and you all asked that we go back and meet with the licensees to see if they were really committed to this, if they wanted to go forward. We met, thank you to Lindsay and Clay, they facilitated that meeting. We met with all but one of the licensees this past week. We gave them a copy of the agreement that they would have to sign if we went forward with this and they wanted to participate. They only had one change that they requested in the agreement, and that was that people would not be able to bring in alcohol into their facilities. Other than that, they were agreeable to all of the requirements. They would like to appeal to you all to do a trial basis on this, where we only did 5 events the first year, and see if it was, if it drew enough people down to make it worthwhile to the expense on it. So if we did that, that brings the first year's cost to $23,505. That's not taking into account that we would sell part of the cups to them. So we would recover some of that expense, probably not a lot, but some of that expense. And the other thing that we did is, as you know, Abby and Lindsay and Clay were tasked with how to promote this. And so, I think they have a report on how that they would like to promote this, so.
Come forward, please.
All right. Thank you all for having us today, and thank you, Dawn, for all the work that you've done. I know that this is a big undertaking. I'm excited for what it could mean for our local tourism economy. As you all know, the more that we have that we can offer to our visitors, the longer they'll stay, the more money they'll spend with our local businesses, and that's where we all win. Another thing, you know, what's good for visitors is really great for our locals. So I think this would be something positive for everyone. So with that being said, like Dawn said, we were tasked with kind of working on branding and what the experience is like. So I'm going to touch on how we would brand this thing, and then I'm going to turn it over to Lindsay and Clay, who have really put a lot of thought into what the experience looks like for folks who are visiting the Entertainment Destination Center. So first of all, coming up with a name. We have a strong name and a strong brand. You just feel like you're somewhere special. I'm sure you can think of a place that you've visited that really had a strong identity with a strong brand, and you knew that you were somewhere that you wanted to be. So we have kind of taken the community brand that is already so strong, taken some of those elements to create kind of a fun after-hours brand that I'm excited to reveal today. So our proposal is to call this area the Sunset District. Of course, we love to brag about how fabulous our sunsets are, especially there on the riverfront. I have gone to I talk about this all the time. I've gone to a conference where the expert has said, if you're talking about your sunsets, you're doing it wrong because everyone has them. But I challenge that speaker to come to Henderson because no one has sunsets quite like ours on the riverfront. So, Sunset District. We took some of the elements from our community brand as far as colors go, obviously with the river and some of those natural colors that come out in our gorgeous sunsets. This is the logo that we're proposing to be kind of the main logo that we would use, and then to have a couple of variations, different sizes depending on what we needed it for. So for example, you know, this may or may not be something we wanted to do, but on the wristbands, like a horizontal logo would work a lot better than
Get around so everybody
Yes.
can see that too.
So this is what we have going on. Yeah, so as far as branding goes, we think that this would look really nice on like the light pole banners, on the cups, and it would be just something that makes it feel like you're somewhere special. Another thought, just today, you know, working through this, even if, I hope that the Entertainment District is a go. I think it would, again, I think it would just add to the experience in our downtown for our visitors and for our locals. But even if we take the Entertainment District out of it, it would still be nice to have, you know, kind of a solid brand for this downtown neighborhood where our businesses are. So regardless of what happens with the Entertainment Destination Center, I would like to kind of take this and, you know, talk through how we could make it work, just to brand the downtown neighborhood anyway. Again, I think when you're somewhere that feels well branded, it's somewhere that people want to be. This could only be positive for our community. So on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Lindsay and Clay to talk about.
Let me ask commissioners if they have any questions.
Sure.
Great. Yeah, logo looks fantastic.
Yeah, it feels like you're somewhere fun, and that's who we are, right? So, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
We love the brand and the logo too. You know, it was something that we thought was original when we thought about it. There were a couple options that came up, and we thought the Sunset District really would be original to our downtown and make it feel extra special, and that's what we want people to feel like they're in a special place when they come to downtown Henderson. And also, if you're on Main Street, you might not know that there's this magnificent sunset just a block away. So hopefully that will direct people to the sunset, which as you get on social media, you see plenty of pictures of that sunset. One thing that we talked about in the meeting with Dawn
and the business owners, we definitely want this to be something that is a collaborative effort with everyone. And how will these 5 events for this first year, what would they look like? Because, and Clay brought up a good point, what is going to bring somebody downtown and get them in the entertainment district to where it's not just, if you want to speak on that, like how
That they wouldn't have done prior. So, knowing that someone may want to come down for a few drinks and have a drink, so what's the difference between that and an evening where they decide to stay and meander downtown and really spend several hours having an experience downtown versus I'm going to go down and have dinner and then I'm going to head home. And so we talked about, what are the things that we could help provide that would provide collaboration between those downtown businesses that would maybe provide something even between them, outdoors, whether it's music or we talked about like a sip and shop event to even include our retailers, not just our restaurants, if they were on board for something like that. We even mentioned like a guys shopping night, where the retailers stay open a little bit later and kind of caters to that audience
around the holiday time. And yeah, just, again, something that would hopefully incorporate our downtown merchants, that is something that we hear all the time. When will our downtown merchants be open later, have later nights, but having these events, having 5 events to where it could be a sip and shop event, have a reason for people to come down and have this experience is something that we plan on working on with the business owners, with the restaurants and the merchants to see how we can really capture the audience of people that live in Henderson, but also visitors coming to the area. So we want to make sure that if we do this, moving forward, we want to make sure that we put in the effort that we need to support our businesses, because ultimately that's what we're wanting. We're wanting to bring more people downtown to shop, to dine, to enjoy the beautiful riverfront, and spend their money in our downtown area. So those are the things that we really want to focus on. And with the great branding that Abby has created, we think it's all going to work together. And the restaurants seem really excited about this. One example would be Art Hop, something that's been done for 11, 12 years, but this would be able to transform that experience a little bit differently. And I know that as far as permitting goes, the city would probably be happy with that. I kind of switch itinerary. That would probably be very helpful. And the great thing was, and I know one of the issues or the requirements, not an issue, requirements of this is the checkpoint. And the restaurants were on board with having, they were all okay with having their team be there. So it is everybody working together, which is a great thing.
I like the 5-time trial. I think Commissioner Valls brought that up, and I struck me as a good thing right then, because it'll give us a good trial on what might work, what might not work. Is it something we want to continue? Is it something we want to keep, grow, bring down? So I think that the 5-time is good. The cost has reflected the 5-time. So I think it's probably a good value for what we're spending on it. But that's just my opinion. Does anybody got any?
No, I agree.
You okay with
I'm
that?
excited about it.
Ready to move? We can move forward on that?
We'll bring the ordinance to the next meeting for first reading.
Now, it takes, it
Yeah, it
takes
takes time.
time
It's
to
not,
do this. It has to go through the state, but there's other communities that have done really well with this, and we can too. And, we're smarter than most of them anyway. So
Well, that was one thing we did talk about doing and plan to do, is talk to our other communities in the state. One that was mentioned was Somerset, talking to them and see what they've done with this, because they seem to have a really successful entertainment destination center there.
So is the thought that we pass the ordinance, then it has to be approved by the state?
yes, what happens is we pass the ordinance and we have to request application from the state. As part of that, they have to come down and look at the actual area that will be part of the ordinance. then we file an application, and then it has to be advertised for 30 days.
Okay.
So it's not a overnight, we have to go through the state requirements.
And then the entertainment district would be set by our city ordinance and approved by the state,
Right.
and then will it
It'll-
have to be a
it'll
special
be-
permit every time somebody wants to open
Yes,
it?
it'll be a permitted activity. That's how, you know, like in Owensboro, what they've done with theirs is every Friday night is permitted. So they just do one permit for every Friday night in the summer, Fridays after 5. So if we went forward, like, and do another year of it, then I would imagine, and what I had talked with Lindsay before class started, was that we would just, if they wanted to do First Friday, we would just do one permit for First Friday for the.
So, after it's already approved by the state, and we have the ordinance, let's just say we want to do this again next year and plan, you know,
The ordinance will stay in place.
okay, so we don't have to do that part again, it's,
We just have to relicense, you know, how everybody has to relicense every
Oh.
year. But the state doesn't have to come in every year to look.
Yeah.
It's just like renewing your ABC, a restaurant's ABC license.
Yeah, I think it will, I know we think it'll be just a great opportunity to have more things going on in our community. You know, we definitely get feedback sometimes, and I disagree with this, because there's plenty to do right now in Henderson. If you get on the community calendar, there's stuff going on all the time. You have to go there and look and see all that our community has, which is wonderful. But this gives an opportunity to have an event, if we were to have something like Friday After 5 that Owensboro has. They're able to have that experience because they have this district. So this gives us an opportunity to have those kinds of events, whereas before we would not. And it's, as Don has mentioned to us many times, this isn't something that's regulated at the city level. A lot of this is the state level.
Mhm.
So I think one thing, if this does go forward, that we want to do is get out to the community that how this works, how this process works, and what a great thing it will be to the community.
And again, we've got 2 more new businesses coming
Right.
in that we're pretty sure are gonna participate in this, and the
And they
more
were
the,
both part of the meeting
Yeah.
that we had, both of those businesses.
The more the mer-
invited to the
more the
meeting,
merrier.
And they were
Oh.
positive about it.
thank y'all, appreciate it. I think we're good with it, and, Dawn will
Yeah, I
prepare.
finished the ordinance this morning, so
Okay.
we'll be ready to go. I
Okay.
just have to get
Good deal.
a written description of the area.
Don, you have anything else to bring
No.
forward? Commissioner State, Mr. Vowles, anything you want to bring
No, sir.
forward? All right, we're ready to adjourn. Is
Motion
there a
to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, there's a motion, is there a second?
second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned, thank y'all.